Good to see you. John Wilkie.
Good evening. John Wilkie, 62 Clearview Drive, Penfield, New York. I think it's fair to say that we all believe small businesses is a key to turning around the economy and jobs. Is that a fair? I think that's pretty fair in our general understanding. Back in August, I realized that. I sent an email to Tony that you saw this as an important function and that you had assigned people to respective business districts in Penfield, and I applaud you on that. I think that's an excellent move forward. I've talked to Rob here, about what I started to do with one of the projects, and we've been in communications during that period of time. And I think there's a way that we can help ourselves. And after hearing your budget session here, the sales tax is important. I mean, it's a revenue driver, and that's a result of small businesses in the community. Since, for some of the people, I've been coaching small businesses since 1989. I've been the president of the Rochester Chamber of Commerce. I've been the president of the Professional Networks Association, the PBA. So I've been in all these organizations. I've been recently working with about 3,000 businesses across the United States, providing, let's call it marketing type tools to small business owners. So I've been active in this, even though the gray hairs are kicking in and the grandchildren are getting older. I've sort of enjoyed the side of the business relative to the promotion. All right, so one of the things that I've learned over the years is that a major factor in failure of a small business is promoting itself. They don't promote themselves. They don't have the deep pockets to promote themselves. So I don't know if any of you have noticed, but if you drive around Penfield, what is one thing you see out, in the business areas?
Signs.
A-frame signs all over the place. They're all over. And the reason they do it is they're not cheap, but the reason the small business owner does it is they're trying to beg you, don't forget about me, come on and shop, okay? So that is the number one issue with small business failure. Some of them are bad run, but overall I'd say that's the biggest. And so working together, this is a thought, as a proposal. Working together, I think, between the town and the businesses, we could, in this fourth quarter, get out 80 million little reminders, 80 million little reminders to the residents of Penfield to shop local. It can be done, and it's not a hard task. So I want you to think about that one as we go along here. 80 million little messages reminding the small business owners and the people in Penfield that shop local. And of course, somebody's going to have to figure out how to come up with that number. I'll send you the matrix, anybody that wants that, okay? But that is real. Okay, the time to do this, the time to move is right now. The fourth quarter is the number one time that a small business owner tries to make enough money to make it through the dry season. And the dry season is the first quarter. So if we want to help small businesses in Penfield and help the economy and see if we can drive up jobs, we want to do something today. Not talk about it, not plan it, go ahead and do something. So the number one thing to me is two things are happening. Number one, it's the holiday season. Dry spell, it's definitely, things ain't moving real fast. So we're in sort of a little slump in the economy anyway. So they need to help even more. And the part that makes it so sweet is sitting right underneath us are all these tools right here. And now the trick is to turn them on. So that's what I'm suggesting. I think we can do something. My plan is to take advantage of this huge social media network that is sitting out here called Facebook. I don't know how many of you know about Facebook. I know Debbie's a heavy user. I went to Debbie's site. I was really Well, anyway, we'll talk about that later. But the point is, this network of thousands and thousands of people is sitting right underneath us on Penfield here, and it's waiting for us to take advantage of it. And small businesses, believe it or not, are the ones that probably can make the most use of it. And how do I know that? Because I've been working with it for 2 years. Now, the funny part, if you can laugh about this, is I started in Penfield with this idea. I didn't get along with some of the people, so I went outside. I sold the program to New Orleans, to Chicago, to Illinois, and my wife sort of asked me, she said, why aren't we telling the people in Penfield? Was a good question. We had got focused off-site, and so she's the one that actually turned it a little bit and said, why don't we come back to our own town and look at that? So I hadn't thought as much about the tax implication until I saw the meeting here. I didn't know it was 15%. That's a pretty good chunk of change. If we could jump that up to 25%, because we could get people in Penfield shopping in Penfield and get everybody excited. Now, all right, I won't move ahead. I'll keep going. That's why I brought the paper, so I stay on schedule here. Checks a local business. Okay, the key to this thing is very simple. How many of you have smartphones? Oh boy. All right, we're going to have to work on
I
that.
have a smartphone. I'm not a smart user, but I have a smartphone.
This little beast here is our savior. I kid you not. You have got to see the potential in this little device. You're here talking about budgets. Mr. Murphy here is talking about making things smarter. This darn little tool is more than a phone. Rob and I had a chance to go over it a little bit at Dunkin'. We went to Dunkin' Donuts. You knew who bought the coffee?
Yeah.
Don't tell me you did.
Well,
So he's good. He's cutting costs.
We're
I
working
can
with
see
him.
that already. He's working to cut the costs.
We're working with them.
the credit card machine was down there.
Oh, that was a good one. You know, I left my wallet at home. Oh, okay. Anyway, so how does this thing go? Look, gang, this baby works this way. If I'm at Beyond Hardware, buying up a little thing, what I do is I go onto here and I go to Facebook icon, check in. When I check in, every one of my friends, how many friends do you have, Linda? 100?
1,000.
All right, we'll say 1,000. 1,000 of her friends know that she was shopping at Beyond Hardware. 1,000 people get that message, a little tag goes out to each one of them. Not only does the little tag go out, but she sees all the businesses around Beyond Hardware because it's GPS registered. So the phone knows where you are. So now Linda remembers that there's a nail place there, she sees all the other businesses, plus all her friends see it. Every time she goes to Beyond Hardware, she clinks in. Every single time. You board members, every time you go somewhere, you talk, maybe some of you are running for re-election. Every time you talk to somebody, you ask them a simple question. Are you checking in at the business? It's costing us nothing, absolutely not one penny to communicate that message out. And all our small businesses are going to start seeing the impact if we can get 20%, 30% of the residents to start thinking this way. Cost is zero. It's sitting in front of us. It's asset management. Call it whatever you want. It's a tool that's here for us. Maybe we could turn it on. Have a little fun. All right, so this couldn't have happened 12 months ago. It wouldn't have worked. The updates to Facebook and the updates to these phones they've taken off so fast that now it's almost as easy as pie to do this. It used to be really hard. I do agree with. When we first started doing this, Rob, since the time you and I talked, I've had 2 updates already. It's much, much easier than that. So the point is, it isn't that hard anymore to do it, and the business owners can reap the benefit. So what happens? Just like, I keep calling Murphy, I can't remember the first name. Jim?
Tim.
Tim? Yeah, Tim, sorry. Like Tim was asking, to build a cooperation with the schools. What I'm looking to do is build a cooperation with you guys. What I'm thinking is that if the town uses its promotion power to remind all the residents to check in when they're shopping at a local business, all they have to do is check in. Nothing else like that. I submit that 40% or so of the residents that are of, say, voting age have these devices. It may be lower, but it's fairly high. All right, so you guys, instead of, I mean, I love it that you're talking about the bikes. I love all that. That's really good. But what I really say that we could add on to that is just one extra conversation. Where did you check in today, Rob? Where did you check in, Paula? Where did you check in, Tony? Where did you check in, Annie? Where did you check
I
in?
did check in.
All right, you get the point.
I do that,
You get the
John.
star. Gang, it doesn't take that much. Once, and now if you need help, I'll volunteer to I'll walk you through this thing, how it works. But once we get it started, it's costing us nothing. It's driving Penfield people to shop in Penfield, and we're not spending a fortune, and maybe we can get rid of all the A-frames at some stage. That if no, seriously, if the business people see that you... What did I tell you? I told you when I came to talk to Rob that every business person I talked to said it'd be a waste of time. That's what they told me. It's worthless. You guys don't, business, throw it away. That's the feedback you get when you work and write to them. You guys probably hear a different story. But when you hear it offline, it's not. So I'm thinking this is so easy. You could be heroes. This could be a real historic change in a town to get the whole town doing one little thing. Hop on this baby, the ones that have it, and check in. That's all. Then later on, I'll explain how they can put coupons up. It doesn't cost a thing. How we can put deals up. It doesn't cost a thing. How we can share those things. But I got to keep it to my script because I get too far and then it'll go offline. The only issue we have here is not all the businesses are on Facebook. So I know how to do this thing. I know how to put them up. What I will volunteer to all the businesses in Penfield, if they don't have a Facebook page up, we'll put them up very basic for free. We'll put them up because the more we get up, it's like the telephone. If you have 100 telephones, it's great. You got 10,000 telephones, it's really good. Same thing with our Facebook deal. We need our businesses to understand that. So I'm not the Tom G. Golisano, I'm not the billionaire. But I think if I can get it started, if you all can see what this can start to do, then you can believe past that this guy is, I didn't have any, this is real. So I'm sharing it with you because I've worked with it now. I'm down at Don's Original, sitting there, and we have a QR code. It's a little other piece. But anyway, the little guy at the bar, he scans the QR code. He goes to their Facebook page. He likes the Facebook page. He checks in, and he gets a coupon. Well, the part that's amazing is, why isn't everybody thinking? They don't know. The business owners are too busy. They're working their butts off. They don't know. So the partnership is where I'm begging. What I'm thinking is, can we work with you? I'll provide the thing. I'll get to the chamber. I'll get to the PBA. I'll talk to them. But what we need is the residents to be asked. Just check in. Can we use, there he is, PCTV? Can you, instead of collecting bicycle, that's bad, but instead of doing that, take a little bit of energy now and pour it into this side. I think we could pull off something that I don't know of any other town that's done it. It's all sitting here, and yet it doesn't seem to be able to move because we've never got behind any. It's like my 4 years in the service. I was out there with the Minuteman missiles in North Dakota. Well, if you go in one of those silos with one of those nuclear warheads sitting in there, it is quite amazing. I mean, it is amazing how that thing worked. And what it says is we can do anything we want to do. So I'm sharing this with you as a partnership. I was hoping that maybe you guys would buy in to a simple little thing. Rob, who'd you check in today with?
Actually, before you leave, I want to square up with you on.
Yeah, you owe me something, I know. But I'm not picking. I'm not picking on you. I am not. I realize you got things going and stuff. Here's the issue: is we're running out of time. If we want to get something going, we want to get it going for the holiday season. The owners will love you guys. It'll be fabulous if we can get something moving, and it isn't going to cost you how much? Bob, you got money for me?
He's got short arms and deep pockets, John.
We don't need a penny.
Right.
We don't need a penny. No bonds, no bailout money, no anything. You and I and the residents of Penfield can do this thing. The trick is, get started. So if anybody is a business owner watching, I'll just pull that tight there. No, it doesn't. Oh, you can't see it. Anyway, they can call, and we have an electronic form set up. I'll set up the Facebook page for them. I'll email it back to them. I mean, we can take care of this thing because we've been doing it for a while.
And you're John, you're going to reach out to Ann Young for PBA.
I absolutely
and,
will. But
Keisha Washington.
Those guys won't bite on anything. That's my opinion. Until they know that it's going to get out there. Because the whole problem with this whole environment is we need the marketing, we need the promoting through the residents. We need the residents to know that this can help ourselves. It's more than just neat thing. It's more than just the kids. If we can help small business owners get through and put some money in the bank, it helps all of us.
I think from what I've seen with Keisha Washington, who's the new chamber president, and Ann Young, who is the current PBA president, I think both of them are coming to the table with a little bit different approach and a little bit different mindset.
Fine.
That's at least that's my takeaway.
No problem.
And I think it would be good, and both of them have committed to working together for the good of the business, for the good of the whole of the business community. And it might be good. For the three of you, and certainly I would offer up Mr. Quinn because I know you have been having a conversation with Rob about that.
I think he's pretty busy. So, but
well, as you know, we're trying to nail down a time when we can get together with Jim Costello. And the other thing, I think you're being a little too modest for your advocacy on Penfield Business Front. It's difficult for you to describe with the phone in your hand sort of everything and how it works in motion. But when we did get together, you showed me sort of live time with local businesses, and it is quite fascinating.
Yeah.
And from the Facebook check-in to how coupons actually come up and how you can use them. So it's very fascinating. I think that it definitely has some potential there. And as I said, I know that we're trying to meet and go further. So.
Yeah, and the really reason, gang, is I'm telling you, the window's closing on us. Mm-hmm. The promotion and getting the business people going, we need to move like yesterday. So I'll call the gang soon as tomorrow. I'll call them. But my beg of you guys is tell me how we can promote it or how you can help so that we can at least get going. And if it doesn't work, let's say it didn't cost us a penny, did it?
Sure.
All right. Any questions? Anybody else?
Well, appreciate your time. I think certainly anything we can do for our businesses is key. This sounds like a pretty easy, no-cost alternative to be able to do that.
Tony, I think, crazy John, but I think that if we could put the whole town on this thing, this is social media, we could definitely get Penfield on the map. I mean, it would change a perception, something beautiful, because it's like we're working together to help ourselves. So I don't know, it's your call, but I just see it as something that's very, very marketable in the future for the whole town. That said, we could bring businesses in, they'd be interested to know we're helping them out, we work with them. And the social media, let's just say you did this, let's say we really pushed it forward, you will have taken every small business owner from here and moved them up to here. And the reason is they can't move now. Like I told Rob, they're so busy trying to get things done, they don't have any time. But if we can work as a team and show them how these tools work and get them out in front, every business owner is going to be out in front. Well, right now they're all scrambling to hold their own. So they can't do anything. And that's That's a timing issue too, so.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Good to see you.
And
Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address